the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color?
Boo!
Oh, nailed it.
No, that was good. I like that.
Thanks. My name is Danny Heifetz. I'm joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck, and today we are going over the NFL season as told by Elf. We're recording this on Monday, December 23rd. This is our Christmas week episode. We didn't have a Friday episode coming out this week, but we want to do something a little special for everyone over the holidays. So it's really simple. We're going to just tell the NFL season by Elf quotes, and we have no idea what each other is going to say. It's basically the vibe, right, Craig?
Yeah, I got to say also, Heifetz, you have such a pretty face. You should be on a Christmas card.
Just love smiling. Just love smiling.
Deb, you have such a pretty face. You should be on a Christmas card. My favorite relationship in the entire movie is Amy Sedaris and Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Yes.
You recognize me? I'm wearing work clothes.
Where did they send you from? The North Pole. The North Pole?
North Pole?
Yeah.
Santa?
I think the first time I watched this movie, I did not have a child. And then I watched this last night and I have a child now. And I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly how Calvin acts in every situation.
Elf
Like
is
when
the
they're
last.
at the doctor.
Elf is the last good Christmas movie to come out. I'm willing to say that on the record.
The
It's
last good Christmas movie to come
Yes.
You're
out?
saying that a Christmas movie has been made in 20 years? Wait, what about the holiday? The
not
holiday.
a good one.
When was the holiday made?
2006 maybe, but I'm not counting that as a true blue Christmas movie.
Well, I guess
That is quite a
guess it's more of
statement that I wasn't
rom-com.
ready for.
That's a rom-com.
Wait, this is derailing the whole show. Wait, that can't be right. You're telling me
I think it's
20
it's
years
the
there
last
hasn't been a good
Christmas classic.
movie?
No, I think it's the last Christmas classic. We've lost the plot with comedy, with Christmas
Wow.
movies, with a lot.
I think by the end of this, I think we could come up with an idea for Christmas movie. I was actually thinking of an idea for Christmas movie watching Elf. I have an idea. We could do that at the end if you want.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to hear it.
Okay. I'm going to forget. Remind me. I'll tell you my basic kind of pitch for Christmas movie.
I thought The Night Before was good.
The Seth Rogen comedy?
I thought it was funny.
Who else was in that? Is there a Franco in there, Dave? No.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, Levitt.
Yeah, Franco was in that.
I missed The Night Before. I'm not going to lie.
Anthony Mackie.
Mackie, right.
Oh, pre-Marvel Mackie?
Primo.
Oh, Heifetz, you would love it. I think it's actually really funny.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Should we
well,
just
we're gonna
power?
get to Elf.
This should be Power Hour. We should have just power ranked Christmas movies.
I know, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Wait. It's a better idea. Someone,
Fuck,
Kai,
that's
write
so
that down
much
for
better.
next year. It's a better idea.
Damn it, that's good.
Stupid.
So we will save this for next year.
All right. We'll do that next year.
Hollywood, you got fucking 12 months to come
Yeah.
up with something better.
We're just going to go right off the bat. We're literally just going to quote the movie and talk about football. Does anyone feel like they have anything particularly strong they want to lead off with? Because if not, I got some stuff. But
Can I just start with an amuse bouche? Just
Please.
something very small just to
would
get
love
you
that.
going. The quote where Buddy goes, Francisco. That's fun to say. Francisco. The NFL version of that is Puka Nakua. Puka
fun to
Nakua. That's fun to say.
Just
Puka.
reading a book.
Yeah.
Puka Nakua.
Yeah. Puka Nakua. I like that. It's like I'm watching football and my mom's like, who's that? Puka Nakua. That's fun. Puka Nakua turns everybody into Buddy the Elf.
well, one related to that, just watching Buddy, like just the way Will Ferrell eats in this movie. We're
Oh
just
my
pouring
God.
syrup and everything and syrup on the candy and the pasta. Buddy the Elf eats like Puka Nakua.
Yeah, he
Or like
does.
DK
Or
Metcalf.
DK Metcalf.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
I think,
had the
like-
same thing.
All the young ripped receivers who are really good eat like he's like the four main food groups like candy canes, candy corn,
corn.
and syrup. That's literally DK Metcalf between his three practices a day.
Is there sugar in syrup? Yes. Then yes.
Yes.
Do you remember that story that Puka Nakua, like just classic 22-year-old, would
Just
Google
eating
map?
McDonald's.
He would just Google map his way to the Rams facility, and then because it's LA traffic, it took him a different way every day, and so he would just eat whatever fast food he passed on the way to the Rams facility back home. That was what he ate.
That is a true sign. Like when you are like literally built differently than other people is when you can just eat candy and fast food
Right.
and be a professional athlete. Like
Yeah.
you are actually different than normal people.
That's DK Metcalf. He's just doing the Buddy the Elf with the 2-liter cola, and he's just like chugging the Coca-Cola. Like, I didn't even know you could do that.
That's so funny. I had that exact thing. The four main food groups for receivers.
DK, got anything? Well, you better. It's the beginning of the show. It's a pretty bad question by me.
Do I got anything? Got any jokes?
Imagine
The
if
one
you didn't.
thing, this isn't necessarily like a quote, but just a scene in the movie that reminded me of the NFL in a certain way was the snowball fight scene where Buddy the Elf has like a Gatling gun for an arm when it comes to like the snowballs. It just reminded me of like Jaden Daniels because look, I was initially a little bit skeptical that like his skill set and the way that he won the Heisman was going to translate directly to the NFL. And sure enough, it did. Like immediately. It was like apparent almost like within like a few minutes of his first game that this guy is like different. He's special. And I just kind of had that feeling when like the kid, his brother, is like a little skeptical. This guy's fucking weird guy is like following me around. And then they get into the snowball fight and he's just got like the fucking cannon. Then he hits the guy from like 150 yards away or whatever.
I think the sneaky best part of comedies, or I should say the sneaky reason why the best comedic actors are as good as they are is because they're kind of athletic. And Will Ferrell is a little bit athletic. All of the best comedies are people who have a sense of like your Chris Farley's, people like Adam Sandler, like all these guys actually played sports and are athletic. And Will Ferrell
they can
is
do
athletic.
physical comedy.
Yes,
yeah.
and they're coordinated and they know how to move. And it's like why a lot of these Will Ferrell comedies have all been really good is because he quietly is super coordinated.
And he's huge.
He's huge.
That's actually like a
tall is
big
Will
reason
Ferrell?
this movie worked is because he's a massive human being.
If he was 5'8", they couldn't have cast him.
Right.
How tall is Will Ferrell?
He's like 6'4".
Oh, wow.
He's a big guy. Plus
big.
with the hair, he's like 6'7".
It's true that Jaden Daniels is 6'4", so there you go. I think it's funny that like we did this with LSU twice in 5 years, where it's like Joe Burrow won the Heisman. My dad discovered him, thankfully, because my dad discovered Joe Burrow, that he was awarded the Heisman and the first pick in the draft. And we're like, well, Jamar Chase is like the best prospect in years. So how good is Justin Jefferson, right? He's got to be drafting off the fumes. And you're like, oh, actually, Justin Jefferson is also the best receiver in the NFL. And then 5 years later, we're like, Jaden Daniels, and he has Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. And we're like, oh, well, Brian Thomas, they're actually just the three of the best 5 players in this draft.
Dude,
we're all
it's
on the
wild.
same team.
The other quote that brought Jaden Daniels to mind was when he's like, why are you smiling like that? And Buddy just goes, I like to smile. Smiling's my favorite. Just feel like every time you see Jaden Daniels, he's just smiling. He's got that charisma to him, you know? He's I think that's a big part of the reason he is like what we've seen, a program changer, like a culture changer, like foundational piece for the Commanders. Is because he's got like this gravitas. I think Joe Burrow kind of has that too, where it's like just guys just believe in you. They rally around you and like they know that you're confident. They know that you're not going to like, you know, turn into yourself and brood or whatever it is when times get tough. Like you're just going to come back and play and just the style that he plays with. So anyways, Jaden Daniels, obviously huge story in the season. So I kept seeing him in this movie.
I love the next line is when he's like, just love smiling. And then the manager of the work is just like, you know, why don't you love work? Start loving work, okay? Work. Focus on your job.
Did you guys, when Buddy's talking about when he sees the toilets, the non-North Pole toilets, the regular sized toilets, and he goes, have you seen these toilets? They're ginormous. That to me is what Darren Rizzi said first day as new head coach. Walked into the office.
Good one.
Wow.
Right.
Private bathroom in here?
He's peering over the stall to the guy next to him. Have you seen these? They're ginormous. Oh man, put the over under on Darren Rizzi clogging a toilet mentions in the show. To what minute are we at here? 12 minutes.
Do you guys think that his quickly going back to the 4 main food groups? Do you guys think his spaghetti sugar salad looked awesome? Because I did.
I honestly, Craig, I'm not kidding. I was watching this after the games last night at like 11 o'clock. He kept eating spaghetti and eating all this candy. And I had to go eat something because I got so hungry.
Dude, sugar or like syrup on pasta sounds great.
But he had marinara sauce on it.
I know, that kind of sounds good.
It kind of works. A little
Let's
sweet.
try it.
When he crushes the Pop-Tarts into it, I was kind of like, this is working for me.
Hold up, let him cook.
This is working for me. The bag of this, like the big plastic bag of spaghetti. I'm like, that kind of looks good. I'm not kidding.
Does. I 100% agree. I unironically agree. That looks good. I would take that to work.
That's what DK Metcalf eats at halftime.
Yeah.
Just carbo loading.
Spaghetti with syrup and Pop-Tarts. Okay. I love the beginning of the movie with the montage of again how big Will Ferrell is, and he's like the montage of like Buddy the Elf is just he's not fitting in with any of the other elves, and he's like too big for the shower, and he's too big to fit the bed, and he's in the desk, and he's huge, and they're trying to make the toys, and he can't make them, and he's like, I'm gonna be a little short in today's quota, guys. And they're like, the whole thing just reminds me of Anthony Richardson with the Colts.
He's just
like,
too big.
He's too big. He doesn't fit. He's too big, and he's like, hey Shane, I'm not gonna make today's quota. And you're like, how many completions did you make, Anthony? He's like, 7.
He's
Then
the first quarterback in the
Steichen-
league where they need to make the ball bigger.
Yeah, it's like why guys can't shoot like free throws in the centers. Like, it's like, yes.
Is this like where Steichen goes up to Flacco like later and he's like, "Hey man, can you help me out? This guy over here, he's holding us back. I'm like way behind on my quota.
Yeah, can you finish these etch sketches?
If he doesn't realize he can't throw the football now, I don't know if he ever will.
Yeah.
You guys know really the whole ethos of this movie, Christmas Spirit, is about believing, not seeing. That did kind of make me feel for all of the tortured fan bases out there, like the Jets every year. It's really not about seeing. It's about believing. It's not about what you're seeing on the field with Aaron Rodgers.
Trust the process.
It's about believing that next year things could be different. And the Christmas Spirit, I hope it affects Jets fans very positively this holiday season because they need it more than anything. They need to believe.
I mean,
they can't see.
If James Caan, who has like one of the all-time great like 180-degree turns in the middle of this movie, goes from being like the biggest asshole in the world to like all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm quitting my job because my son asked me one thing.
Yeah.
It was like I was like watching it last night. I was like, wow, we missed like a little plot step here. I think at one.
We're
point.
going to take a $30,000 bath so a couple of kids can find out what happened to a pigeon and a dog. I don't think so.
James Caan, by the way, just plays the best asshole.
He's the best, dude. Rest in peace. He's the GOAT.
I saw this viral tweet this week where someone was like, I tried to sit down and show my daughter The Godfather. And 20 minutes in, she's like, this dude's the dad in Elf, and went to sleep.
Sonny Corleone's like banging some woman in a stairwell in The Godfather. He's like, the dad in Elf.
That's where
by the
came
way,
from.
like there was a Will Ferrell interview a little while ago. I can't remember when exactly it was, but he talked about how like James Caan like actually didn't like Will Ferrell during the filming of this, and he thought he was like an over the top idiot, and he was like, what am I doing? How did I get involved in this movie?
The ultimate paycheck movie.
Yeah,
turned out to be a classic. I love when that happens.
Wasn't it like Saving Private Ryan when like he just had Matt Damon do a 2-week stay in Hawaii while he took everyone else in the movie and like sent them to like actual boot camps so that they'd really hate Matt Damon when they all got to film together?
Oh, dude, I love stuff like that.
He said Ferrell said at the end of the movie, or sorry, at the end of the premiere, James Caan came up to him and was like, "By the way, I thought you were an obnoxious dumbass, basically during the entire filming of this. But after watching the movie, I really get it. You did a great job."
That's funny.
So, anyways, I was like thinking that the whole time I was watching this movie, like James Caan is actually like fucking hates this guy.
While we're on the Jets thing, I have so many Jets. This movie reminded me of the Jets for so many reasons that I have a whole list. I had to cut some because I had too many Jets ones.
Well, he's wearing a Jets jersey. The kid is what
He's Wayne Corbett. He's Wayne Corbett. All right, let me see. Should I just start making my way through these? Okay, here.
Let's do
There's
the
so many Jets ones. First of all, when he's like, "How'd you get here, buddy?" He's like, "I passed through the 7 levels of the candy cane forest.
I wrote this down.
Swirly, twirly gumdrops, and then I walked through the Lincoln Tunnel." I'm like, "That's Aaron Rodgers coming back from his ayahuasca trip to the Jets."
Yes.
He's like, I passed through the pyramids of Giza, and then the mountains of Peru, and then the Lincoln Tunnel, and then we lost 7 games.
This is like I feel like a New York inside joke. I don't know what the Lincoln Tunnel is. Like, is it like one of the worst places in the world or something?
It's just a tunnel into New York City.
Okay.
One of the important ways to get into the city.
If Rodgers leaves the Jets, I imagine his note will be on an Etch-a-Sketch, and it'll say, "I'm sorry I ruined your lives and crammed 11 cookies into the VCR."
For that one, Craig, I wrote down Kadarius Toney. He went from Super Bowl hero to the worst player in the NFL. I'm sorry I ruined your lives and crammed 11 cookies in the VCR. I don't belong here.
11 cookies. I love really specific stuff about like whoever was writing this decided on a number, and they landed that 11 was the perfect amount.
They had to go through it and do it. How many can we fit in here?
I had Will Levis for that. I don't belong here. I don't belong anywhere.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's true.
Oh,
have you guys ever seen a VCR?
Yeah, dude, I grew up with a VCR.
Okay,
how dare you?
Just checking. What else you got in the Jets?
When they piss off Peter Dinklage in the meeting. And like Buddy's calling him an elf, and he's like, "Listen, guy, I get more action in a week than you get in your whole life." And then they're going back and forth, and he's like, "I've got houses in LA, I got a house in Paris, in Vail." And I was like, "That's Brick Johnson this week." When everyone's making fun of him, and he's like, "I get more action than all you guys in a week than your whole life. LA, Paris, Vail. You think you're like making fun of me?"
No, that's good.
He's getting escorted out of the building on draft night. He's like, no, Woody Johnson's my father. I'm like, sure it is, buddy.
Yeah.
Go back to the North Pole.
The Jets, I will say though, I know we're joking about it, and then we were serious, and now it's like half joke, half serious, maybe actually fully serious.
Mm-hmm.
Do we actually think there's any chance the Jets run it back with Aaron Rodgers? Because like I actually have come. We'll see how they play this week because they did get 9 points against the Rams. They can't. Are they? They're not actually going to bring him back, right? Even though I kind of think they maybe should think about it, but like they probably can't. It's too cancerous.
What is their other solution? Is to what? Just like start Tyrod Taylor for a year and tank?
Honestly, like yeah, it's. I mean, because Darnold, I think Darnold either stays in Minnesota or
he's not going to the Jets.
Well, how long is Devontae Adams under contract?
You could restructure him. You could get rid of him.
Because I feel like that's a domino too.
But like you can't make your organizational decisions on Aaron Rodgers, and I also think, frankly, the quality of head coach and GM you get might depend on based on what you want to do. It's weird because, like, in a way, it's like the right move. On the other hand, it's like I don't know. He's like his tentacles are all over this thing in a way that it's like you probably got to burn it.
I know.
Like it's funny to be like they should run it back, and maybe they should, but it's so toxic.
There's truly no other viable solution other than to actually just start the worst quarterback in the league next year and tank, which is maybe probably what you should do.
And the other thing is because people are like, oh well, Darnold's around, Jameis is around. Like, there's a reason these guys are bouncing around. I don't know. I'm also my whole thing with the Darnold thing is the lesson from the Sam Darnold situation with the Vikings. I feel like it's not. Sam Darnold's good and should play quarterback for a team like the Raiders 100%.
It's not like, oh, he's good now, I guess. It's like,
the lesson is if you have the Vikings where you have two, like Justin Jefferson and another first-round receiver and TJ Hawkinson, a good offensive line and a great play-calling head coach, then you'd be surprised how many quarterbacks can do really well in that system. It's not like Sam Darnold can play for the fucking Raiders now because he went to the Vikings for 1 year. It's like Daniel Jones will be perfectly good for the Vikings for $2 million.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance that this could happen to Zach Wilson anywhere or no?
Honestly, I've been thinking about that in Denver. I've been thinking about that. I would say probably not.
Because I'm trying to think of like top 3 overall picks. I guess Trey Lance is in this category too, of guys who flamed out on one disaster of a team and were never given another shot.
I think that Zach's problem is it's the exact opposite of Bo Nix, where Zach Wilson had this crazy talent that tantalized teams and like ignored all this stuff, but he doesn't get enough reps to understand how to deal with pressure. And like, he's playing at BYU, like he wasn't dealing with like real pass rush and all this stuff. Whereas Bo Nix, like he does not have any of the physical arm talent that Zach Wilson has. But Bo Nix had the most starts in the history of college, which I was super wrong about Bo Nix because I basically was like, I looked at it the wrong way, where I was like, well, I mean, you could say in a way, I think, I was like wrong and right. I was wrong about Bo Nix this season. And I think we said he could succeed in a very specific context. And I looked at Bo Nix as like having, if you needed 60 starts in college to be good in college, like I was like, that's not good. But the flip side is he got tall enough to get on the ride, to ride the roller coaster of being an NFL quarterback, if for like a Sean Payton or an Andy Reid, where you can just execute this offense. You don't need crazy arm talent. I don't know if Zach Wilson is tall enough to like get in and play. Like Sean Payton is the biggest playbook in the NFL. Like, I don't know if Zach Wilson could do that, but I don't know. I think the lesson of all this is humility for across the board this year with quarterback.
DK, is there a single top 3 quarterback that is currently a bust in the NFL that you think, if placed on, let's say, the Vikings and the Kevin O'Connell system, could actually come back and maybe work? Is there another guy out there that could pull the Darnold?
Give me some examples of who.
So we have Daniel Jones.
Daniel
Jones.
Daniel Jones. We have Trey Lance. We have Zach Wilson. Justin Fields.
Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is. We're gonna fall for the trap of Daniel.
I think the Daniel Jones thing.
We will. On him.
I know we've talked about Daniel Jones a lot. The one thing that does never get, and I wish I brought this up more, is he actually has a Carson Wentz-like thing to him where he got hurt and wasn't the same anymore, but no one ever talks about it that way. Where it's like Carson Wentz tore his ACL, came back, wasn't the same athlete, and no one ever talks about the knee injury changing his trajectory. Daniel Jones had a neck injury, which is a spinal injury. And his deep ball accuracy before and after is like night and day. Daniel Jones, everyone forgets, 2019, super aggressive downfield passer. It's his strength. Neck injury, hasn't been able to throw deep ever since. His game's all different. I don't know if that stuff comes back, but I also wouldn't be shocked if it gets better in a. I don't like. I assume it probably won't. But if it did, it'd be like, oh yeah, the guy with the neck injury like a year or two ago. Like once that, like if it's able to heal, I wouldn't be surprised if he's way better. But no one ever talks about that with him. Where it's like Marcus Mariota. He had a nerve injury in his elbow. It ended his career basically. That's why he's a backup. But I don't know. It's weird how some guys never get boxed like that.
I actually had a Daniel Jones thought in this movie. You know how Buddy the Elf constantly just keeps getting hit by cabs when he's crossing the street? Like just Daniel Jones in the pocket, like no fucking awareness of anything around him, just always constantly getting. Heifetz used to say he worries about him crossing the street every time. There's this one scene where he just gets like tapped
Nailed.
by the cab and kind of just like flips up on. He just like a hard as a board. He just flips over and then like slides down the front.
Did I ever
Stiff
tell
as
you
a
guys
board.
about the time I got hit by a cab in New York City?
No.
Why? What's with ringer people getting hit by cars so much?
So I was at a Rangers hockey game. I was
Kevin Clark.
underage. I was pretty drunk, and we were going back to Grand Central. And I was crossing the street. And also, relatedly, Dane Cook, who was huge and doesn't exist basically anymore in popular culture.
He's
but
still
he was,
around. He's
the
got
first big
TikTok.
comedian on iTunes. I remember getting those iTunes gift cards or whatever. And he got like Dane Cook albums. And he had this bit about, I never understood it, but it was like, you get hit by a car, your shoes come off. I didn't really understand that. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Fast forward, I'm like crossing the street. I leave my phone in the cab and I sprint back across the street, get my phone from the cab driver, and I run back. Did not have to run back across the street. Can't stress this enough. But I was very drunk, and I get hit by a cab, and I just blink, and I'm on top of the cab, on the windshield, making eye contact with the driver, and I'm like, I just blink, and I was like running too, and I'm just, oh my god, and he stops, and I just go flying off, and I land on my feet. And I'm teetering, and I realize my shoes are both half off, and I'm like and I'm like teetering on my shoes, and I stick the landing, and I'm like, and the guy gets out, I was like, are you okay? And all I could think was, holy shit, Dane Cook was right.
So your shoes came off a little bit?
Oh yeah, totally half off. I don't know how they didn't fly off.
I
Yeah,
can't
my
believe
shoes
you
were off.
landed on your feet after.
Me neither. That's why I was shocked.
Good for you. No injuries? Did you kind of shake it off? Go about your night?
So this happened. Oh my God, this is like the 10-year anniversary of this. This was December 23rd. The next day, by Christmas Eve, I tell the story. My friend's dad is like, so is the cab okay?
Hey.
Did you dent the hood?
I don't know. The guy was just thrilled that I didn't have any. I want to sue him.
Yeah, seriously.
On that. Okay, wait. I got another one here right now. Any other cab hit ones?
No.
Watch out, the yellow ones don't stop.
I feel like one of the most iconic shots of the movie is him jumping on the crosswalk, only the white lines.
Wait, another one here. When Will Ferrell goes back to the Christmas store after he gets fired,
Mm-hmm.
and Zoe Deschanel is like, buddy, what are you doing here? Did you get your job back? And he's like, no, it worked out pretty good. They gave me a restraining order. That's Deshaun Watson.
Oh, Jesus.
Can I just say, Zoe Deschanel, this movie, 2003, I was 9. I think it's my first crush on film. Zoe Deschanel
Really?
in this film.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful singing voice.
Yeah, I don't know. She just, something about it. I became a man that day.
Okay.
I sing that song in the shower because of them. Baby, it's cold outside.
Oh,
Because
wow.
of this movie.
So you became
Great
a man and
acoustic.
started singing it in the shower.
Great acoustics in there. Yeah, long showers.
Thinking about her in the shower.
Just
awkward.
her voice. Just her beautiful voice. That's it.
Hmm.
But anyway.
Jovi.
Yeah. Blonde Zoe. I don't know if, have we seen?
Just like redheaded.
She's
almost.
blonde, isn't she?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Kind of blonde, kind of redheaded.
I haven't heard the name Jovi before since.
I don't think I have either. I was just going to ask that. Is that like a name or is that
Until
like
I
a
named my
reference?
first child Jovi.
Is Jovi like a reference to Christmas somehow?
Like jovial?
Joy to the world?
Oh, jovial.
Is jovial Christmas related? I don't think that word just means happy. Dude, Reddit's the best. I just Googled Jovi, and there's just a Reddit thread called Thoughts on the Name Jovi. There's a Reddit thread
Reddit
about
has
that.
something for
Reddit's the
fucking
best.
everything.
I solve
Yeah.
most of my problems in life by going to a Reddit thread. There's a great meme of just like, you know that meme of the knight, like paying like homage to the skeleton?
No.
You ever see that? There's a guy like just a knight like kneeling with a skeleton. It's like, and it's like me versus like some person on Reddit who had the exact same problem 12 years ago. It's just everything.
There are 18
It's
comments
so
on this thread.
specific. Yeah.
18 comments. Maybe Bon Jovi. Maybe she was named after Bon Jovi.
What do you guys think of the name Jovi?
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah.
Craig's
Okay.
going to name his kid that.
Yeah. Jovi and Buddy.
Buddy.
Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color? I love when he hits all the presses every
lights in the
every
elevator.
button in the elevator. He gets off halfway. Sorry, I have to get off now. This is where my dad works.
I think that was also kind of Will Levis coded.
Hitting all the buttons.
Yeah.
So Will Levis kind of just is Buddy the Elf, I think is what we're.
The other
That's the
one
same time.
I love when the manager comes back to the store and he sees everything that Buddy did overnight, and he's got like snowflakes everywhere and train sets and Legos, and he's got like this winter wonderland. It looks amazing, and he's got like Mona Lisa on the Etch-a-Sketch, and he's like, his jaw like drops. And I feel like that was Dave Canales watching Bryce Young come back as the starter. And he's just like Bryce Young's just dropping bombs like he should have beat the Eagles on like the 98-yard touchdown drives. And he's like, where'd you say you were from again?
Where does what does that guy say? He's like, this could be a message coming down from corporate or something.
This could be someone coming from my job.
Corporate.
David Tepper's going to hire Liam
just a little too good.
And he has like a code. Is he like, keep your eyes out.
Call me on channel 3.
6-inch ribbons.
And he's like, the code word is Santa's got a big new bag or something.
Brand new bag.
I do think that we're going to do the fantasy rewatchables in this season in a couple weeks. And I was thinking about that too. And I do think one of the big themes of this season is being really humble about quarterbacks, because between Bo Nix immediately, I mean, the Broncos are going to go to the playoffs, and I'm not even just talking about Bo Nix. I mean, the Broncos are going to go to the playoffs with Bo Nix as rookie quarterback and $90 million of their dead cap. You have Bryce Young, who we were making fun of the Bryce Young trade mid-October. Like Bryce Young's career was dead. And then you look across and you're like, all these quarterbacks between like Anthony Richardson before and after the benching entering the season. I just think that like Sam Darnold, I mean, the Vikings might get the number 1 seed in the NFC. And I don't know, Geno in Seattle, like you're just looking around Baker with Tampa ripping it. I just think it is worth really, really, truly taking a step back and assessing like what actually goes into quarterback play. And the Bryce Young, the confidence with Bryce Young is which playing with this post benching thing. I don't know what happened to him. Sometimes maybe we just forget these guys are 22 or 23 years old. But the Bryce Young thing, I feel like I need to spend years thinking about what the fuck just happened in Carolina. I think it's not like the biggest story of the season, but it's crazy that like it was one of the few things everyone could agree on was that Bryce Young was probably one of the worst picks in recent years. And now he looks like a totally viable starter. It's
interesting because I think everybody kind of decided that he physically didn't have it. And it turns out it was actually that he maybe mentally didn't have it and he physically does. And now the mental side has come back around and the physical stuff was always there.
And it's like he's still an outlier, but like you're seeing what the skill set was that made like DK, that made everyone believe that he could do it despite being a physical outlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like moments even like you said at the beginning of this year where I was like, God, what the fuck were we even seeing in college that we got so tricked by this? And I have that same feeling with Zach Wilson too. I'm like, Zach Wilson can barely complete a pass. You know what I mean? It's like, how did we think this guy like? And that was the consensus. Like, a lot of people really liked him. Obviously, he wasn't like people like maybe Fields more or whoever, Mac Jones more or whatever, Trey Lance. But he was a consensus top 10 pick, right? Like everybody thought, oh, this guy should go in the top 10. Not everybody, but like majority. And then he comes into the NFL and is like absolutely like cannot run an offense. He can't run a play. And I remember having that feeling with Bryce where I was just like, man, like what were we fucking looking at? And now the way he plays, I'm like, oh yeah, this reminds me so much of what he was like in college. Like he's, floating passes with perfect touch over a defender, making like jump passes, getting out of the pocket, doing like the magical stuff that he does. Also like obviously running stuff from the, scheme and everything like that, like from the pocket. But it's just, it is one of those things where it's like, you almost like start to question like your memory on something. It's like, when you like remember something when you're a kid, you're like, that's not how I remember it. But I don't know. It's just like one of those things that's very strange, and you can get better. You can improve, and confidence is so crucial. Craig, you said it, like it wasn't the physical stuff, but I think the confidence was manifesting as like, it looks like he physically can't do this.
It's crazy. This is just anecdotal, but thinking back, I can't believe Heifetz going back to talk about, being humble and these rookie quarterbacks. We're going to have probably 3 rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs. When is the last time that's happened? If the Falcons can sneak in and win the NFC South, it'll be Penix, Daniels, and Bo Nix. I mean, I'm looking back at all these quarterback classes. I can't even see a time when 2 rookies have made the playoffs.
And it's funny because we always talk about the hit rate. All 6 are going to work because I think McCarthy's going to work in this Vikings situation too, frankly. It's like, I mean, if he gets the keys in Minnesota, he has to be pretty bad to not succeed in this situation.
I mean, we're going to look back on this as maybe the best quarterback draft class in like a decade. I mean,
cool. Giants passed on 3 of them. That's cool.
6 for 6. If we go 6 for 6, I mean, that's probably never happened before. Right?
I'm going to be really sad when the Giants I mean, the Giants are going to take a quarterback this year. It won't work. I will say the Giants are going to get shit for not taking one of these, but I will say Bo Nix would not have succeeded with the Giants. And I also
you can already say that with a lot of these quarterbacks from this draft too, though.
The best, if you look, the only other class that feels somewhat comparable, 2012, you had Luck, RG3, Tannehill, Russell Wilson, Nick Foles, and Kirk Cousins. But that wasn't 6 in a row. But yeah.
Also, like a year from now, how are we going to be looking at this quarterback class? That's like what I would be
pretty good.
About.
I think it's going to age pretty.
I know, but I would have thought the same thing with like fucking Stroud. I was not expecting a Stroud to regress the way he's regressed.
Yeah, but we were so young.
He's awesome.
Now we know everything.
Yeah, I still think Stroud is awesome, to be clear. But like, I don't know. It's one of those things where development is not always linear. You know what I mean? Like guys will go have like a really good year, really bad year, and then sometimes teams give up on those guys before they should. And
that's
they
why
emerge later, like Baker Mayfield or whatever.
That's why I'm still holding out hope for myself to get back in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never too late.
You could beat out Easton Stick to be that Chargers third stringer.
You think? Skylar Thompson? Come on.
Easton Stick sucks. Speaking of, I do have Skylar Thompson. I got a Dolphins one.
Sucks.
Easton Stick does suck. Sorry, Easton Stick. And the Stick family. I have a Dolphins one. Well, it's just, dude, honestly, on a rewatch, one of the funniest lines of the fucking movie. It's so weird, but it's like when they bring Peter Dinklage as like this perfect author to like write a children's book on the fly. And they're like, so Peter, what do you think of a tomato who lives on a farm? And he's like, no, tomato, too vulnerable kids, already vulnerable. You can't. It's beside farm. Everyone's doing small town rural. You can't, if you do small town rural, you're going to get lost in the white noise. And I was like, honestly, that's the Dolphins offense. It's like, you can't just do cheap motion anymore. Everyone's doing it. You get lost to the white noise. Come on. Tua, too vulnerable.
You know what somebody said about Tua the other day? And I've something I've always noticed, but never really fully kind of like crystallized in my brain is that Tua tells you where he's passing the ball by turning his shoulders so much. Like he really faces where he's going to throw. And it was the announcer. It was Romo. And he was like, no other quarterback in the league signals where they're going to pass with their body language more than Tua.
I know that I am.
That's interesting.
I feel like DK is now the Tua defender. And I feel like increasingly I am like and I'm not anti-Tua. Like I don't know. It's like it's not the pros and cons. It's the pros are the cons. And I think to your point, Craig, a lot of what Tua gets credited for as anticipation is often predetermined reads. And I think that that's something that's like, you never are going to be able to like fully understand which is which with a quarterback. But I do think there are plenty of situations, including like a pick he had this week where it's just like,
Like, imagine you were playing shortstop, but you were left-handed. And so every time you fielded a grounder, you would have to kind of turn your body all the way around to throw it to first. That's kind of like what Tua looks like every time he's going to throw to one side of the field. And it is a massive like tell. And I think a lot of guys are can just, good quarterbacks, you kind of stay centered and it's right at the end and it's quick and you can do different arm angles, but he really like directs his shoulders wherever he's going to go.
And it's kind of like in baseball, like now the whole thing is like pitch tunneling, where it's like you want every pitch to look like your other pitches as long as humanly possible. And they're using crazy science and tracking. And it's like Tua is kind of like the opposite. It's like from the beginning, where it's
the overlays of those pitches are so cool. Have you guys ever seen those?
Baseball is crazy.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like you could throw like a huge arcing, like curveball and a fastball, and it's like coming out like it looks almost exactly the same. It's wild. I have one. This one's like a deep cut, and if you haven't rewatched the movie lately, it's like you're probably not going to get it. So I'm going to throw you guys a screenshot of this guy. But there is there's a scene in the movie where Buddy goes and he works in the mailroom with a guy who's on work release from prison.
That part is really funny.
And they're like, hanging out, doing some work, get drunk together. They're talking, and this guy goes, I'm 26 years old. I've got nothing to show for it. I had to like fucking stop the movie and be like, this guy, he looks 50. He looks, I think that's like part of 50 years old.
I don't think he's 26.
No, obviously. But I was just like, this guy, like the 26-year-old thing, like really sent me for a loop. I had to go look it up. His name's Mark Atchison. He was 46. He was born in 1957. He was 46 when this movie was shot. And he was like, and apparently I looked it up, like apparently he was supposed to be something for a different scene and they like cut that scene out. So they put him in here instead. And they just like kept the lines from whatever it is they were going to say. But anyways, the reason I bring it up is because there's been actually kind of a lot of talk that Kyle Shanahan looks kind of like a president after 4 years in office, where he's just like super weathered and like old. And he's like 46. Like Shanahan is, how old is Shanahan?
He's 45.
Like 45. And he's like, that's like relatively young. I still think in like the coaching ranks, like fucking Belichick is 70 something. Pete Carroll was 70 something. And he just looks so tired and so just drained from losing 2 Super Bowls, really a third as an offensive coordinator.
The Falcons 28-3 one was here's the coordinator. Like the worst Super Bowl to lose.
Yes. Plus 2 Super Bowls with the 49ers, plus 2 conference finals.
One of which to his best friend, Sean McVay.
Yeah.
In a game that Jaquiski Tartt dropped an arm punt from
he's a tragic character. It's like wild how quickly he's aging. Now his team is like imploding this year. There's talk of like whatever, I don't know what's going to happen with him going forward. Like they're going to have to sign Brock Purdy to a massive contract. Who knows what's going to happen with this team going forward? But I just saw that. I was like, I'm 26 years old. I've got nothing to show for it. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up Kyle Shanahan. I didn't mean to sound so mean to Kyle Shanahan.
Shanahan's hair is just a completely different color now.
You go gray at some point.
I will say the Shanahan thing. So there's a Seth Wickersham's book on Brady and Belichick and Kraft. It's called Better to Be Feared. There's a great section where he goes and talks to Mike Shanahan. And it's the chapter starts with like Mike Shanahan has like 2 Super Bowl wins. I believe, the 97, 90. I mean, he had others as coordinator with the 49ers, but like 2 as head coach with Elway and the Broncos. And the conversation's basically like, why wasn't Mike Shanahan Bill Belichick? Like, why did Mike Shanahan not have 6 Super Bowl wins? And Mike Shanahan's, the conversation's about everyone else sees Mike Shanahan having 2 Super Bowls and Shanahan sees the 4 that he should have won. And I think that the true weight, not to get all fucking armchair psychologist, I've never met Kyle Shanahan, but frankly, I think that like deep down, it's like in his head, it's like there's a subconscious, like you're carrying on your father's legacy. Cause like Kyle Shanahan, literally there's a world
that's brutal
where he has 5 Super Bowl wins at 45 years old. Like they should have won the Falcons one. They were leading in both games against the Chiefs
like
in the
10,
second half.
Right?
And if they had beaten the Rams, they probably would have beaten the Bengals. Like he could very, very easily have 4 Super Bowl wins right now in a 7 year.
I mean, I feel like fans take on like a heavy part of that, but like imagine being the fucking coach of those teams.
Oh my God.
Imagine how much you carry.
All
that
these people
shit.
looking families, like people, like it's hard to imagine how much of a responsibility it is. Yeah, it's literally the life like sucked out of that man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like when you guys both at different points had like takes before the season, and I would not buy in on it. I was like, no way, the 49ers are unkillable. That the 49ers were going to have a tough year and implode, and like all the reasons, injury is a big part of it too, of course. Like, and you just sometimes
I think the main thing.
But like, I just didn't really buy what you guys were saying, but it's absolutely happened, and it's just because it's so hard to get back to the top of the mountain when like you put so much into that and then you fall short. It's like psychologically, it's like just so fucking hard to do that.
I'm surprised we don't have a coach out there smoking cigarettes on the sideline.
Bring it back. They should.
Yeah. If Shanahan wanted to light up the dart,
who would be the guy to do it?
McDaniel. We already thought McDaniel was
100%
going
would
to
do
jewel on the sideline, and he was like, "It's cold breath."
Yeah,
like, all right,
I can see that. Just like the Ben Affleck memes.
Oh my God. Yeah, we should get that. We should Photoshop that tattoo in Shanahan's back. The other one this is really quick, but he's like when Buddy first gets to New York City and he's walking around like, and he gets the cup. It says "World's Best Cup of Coffee." He's like, "World's Best Cup of Coffee! We did it! We did it!" And I just thought immediately of Woody Johnson giving his press conference. This is the best Jets team I've ever had.
Yeah,
we did it. Best Jets team of my life.
I had that for a shout out to all the 5 and 6 seeds this year who end up winning their leagues this year. You did it. Congratulations. World's Best Cup of Coffee. You're the best team. Congratulations. It's like bullshit.
Congrats
You're
on
the best
picking
team.
up the
you got
Falcons.
fucking lucky.
Dude, I lost in this league with Jackie's friends and like shout out Molly who beat me this week. Added the Falcons defense, drafted Brandon Aubrey in the 10th round, and that shit was 50
that's
points.
Like 40 points. Yeah, that's wild.
Do you guys remember the Steelers Browns game in the snow? And Jameis was like in a state of euphoria. They beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
Do you know the line from Elf when James Caan is talking about Buddy? He's like, he loves the snow. He told me 15 times. That's how I think about Jameis Winston. He loves the snow. He told me 15 times.
All right, you guys got anything else, or you want to do some fantasy court?
I got one thing. Let me see here. Hold on. I got 2 things actually I want to talk about.
Oh.
The first thought I had when I was watching at the beginning, he's like, I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins. He's like, buddy, you're not a cotton-headed ninny muggins. We all have different talents. That's all. And he goes, seems like everyone else has the same talents except for me. That reminds me of the Raiders in the AFC West. And they're going against fucking Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. Now Bo Nix is there with Sean Payton. And then there's the Raiders. Sorry, Austin. Everyone has the same talents except for me. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think that's the worst coaching job. I mean, you have to compete with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert and Sean Payton and Bo Nix, and you're going to take the Raiders job. Yeah. And like that is so brutal that you have to beat all three of those teams to win a division is fucking nuts.
And you got to go live in Vegas,
which I think is such a wild.
I kind of would like to. I feel like I would live in Vegas.
Really?
This sounds dangerous. I don't know.
For some reason, I feel like it'd be fun to live in Vegas.
Oh man!
For some reason, you think it'd be fun to live in
friends
Vegas.
that live there.
I feel like
not even the gambling. I just feel like it's a cool city.
It's got good food.
Yeah.
Too hot.
Yeah, too hot for sure. The other one, there was like several points in the movie where Buddy puts this big elaborate plan together for what he wants to do that day with his dad. He's like, first we'll make snow angels for 2 hours. Then we'll go ice skating. Then we'll eat a whole roll of Toll House cookie dough as fast as we can. And then we'll snuggle. And then there was another one where he's like, I thought maybe we could make gingerbread houses and eat cookie dough and go ice skating and maybe even hold hands. And I was like, this reminded me of when Caleb Williams was drafted and like, you're just like super excited about the season.
Texting the punter, you're not going to punt that much.
Yeah, he texted the punter, Tory Taylor, on draft night that he's not going to be punting much. Guess what? That punter is third in the NFL with 69 punts.
Well, I think we're going to win games and throw touchdowns and win a Super Bowl and go to the playoffs. And maybe at the end, we'll go to Disneyland.
Like they've lost like 7 games in a row. Anyway.
I think I will remember this Bears season for the Thanksgiving game, but also for Craig texting us after that Monday Night Football game with the Bears, the photo of Caleb Williams on this and on the bench. And he's like, I was at a live episode of The Town. Is Caleb Williams coming or did he get hurt?
Yeah, it's either an orgasm or his leg was severed.
Sorry, they've lost 9 games in a row, not 7.
Ooh, yeah.
Things are not going great, or as expected. But
Caleb's really good. I can't get over that stat where he's thrown like the most throws in a row without a pick in the history of the Bears.
Yeah, I still believe in him, but it's like this is just a perfect example of like there's so many fucking variables that we are bad at predicting when it comes to like teams being good. We thought this would be like a good surrounding cast for him. Turned out not to be. The coaching was fucking atrocious.
I think it's the coaching more than anything.
Yeah.
Not like Jaden Daniels has the best cast around him.
The only other one, this isn't even football, but when Buddy the Elf is in jail and everyone else is just ripping cigs and working out, doing pull-ups, and everyone looks like really intimidating. I just thought of Scotty Scheffler being in jail. Like just the morning, just waiting to leave.
He's in his polo.
Yeah.
Golf shoes, FootJoy shoes. Yeah.
Oh
we didn't
God.
make
All
a Kyler Murray joke, an elf joke, which I thought.
Congrats to all of us. That was just such low-hanging fruit.
Can I do one though?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
We made it to the end and didn't do it. And now do it. Fuck it.
When Buddy goes, it's just nice to meet another human who shares my affinity for elf culture. That was Kyler Murray to Greg Dortch when they met in the locker room for the first
affinity
time.
for elf culture. Oh, that's a good one, Craig. The only other one that I wanted to mention I forgot is, you know how he keeps eating cotton balls when he goes to the like just drives me it's like the grossest thing. He's fucking swallowing cotton balls.
I don't know. I'm kind of in on that too.
Sick.
And I don't know. It just reminded me of Bobby Slowick and the Texans offense. Just like the most like just the thing that makes me so mad watching this is him just calling runs on first and second down, 3rd and long. Might as well just be eating cotton balls. God, the cotton balls thing was driving me nuts.
Interesting.
That is so gross.
See, that doesn't bother me. To me, it was
I have like an aversion or something to this. I don't know why it was like grossing me out.
It's like kind of aesthetically pleasing to me.
Ugh. Cotton balls? It's like it's stuck in your throat.
Yeah, I don't
think you should be eating cotton balls.
Did you guys ever play those games as a kid when it was like how many, whatever you could put in your mouth? Like, I don't know.
Malt balls?
Malt balls.
I was gonna let you drown there.
I think people did do that with like cotton balls, and you try and talk.
Ping pong balls. You ever tried that? Some people can put like 6 ping pong balls in their mouth. Really? Yeah.
Email us at Ringer. Well, I don't know if I want that one.
Email us
what kind of things you're putting in your mouth.
Thought better of it.
The Holdovers, I will say, is a fantastic movie that came out last year over Christmas, and I would consider it a Christmas movie, and that might be the next. Classic.
I'm going to put together a list because I feel like we're probably missing a lot of.
This is emails at ringfantasyfootball@gmail.com. There's Christmas movies. Yeah.
All right, fine.
And I'm saying classic,
Mr. Rewatchable.
I'm saying classic.
Elf is classic.
Elf is a classic.
That's true.
Not like, oh, that was good. It's like you watch it every year. It's become a mainstay in Christmas culture.
You're my affinity for elf culture.
Dorch.
Dorch.
That's.
We say that was probably the best one, Craig.
Let's do some fantasy court.
Definitely don't tell anyone about this thing that you're doing.
I don't really want to be handcuffed.
The definition of an object is a material thing that can be seen and touched.
It's from John.
Jacko.
Jacko.
Jesus.
So John reminds us that right around Thanksgiving, a guy emailed in about his brother trading with a guy emailed in and said, my brother traded with his 9-year-old son.
Right.
And he got Kenneth Walker for Ladd McConkey and Javonte Williams. And he wants to report that since that trade, the dad who got Kenneth Walker has had like 6 points the next week. And he had 13. So he has 19 points in the month since that trade. Meanwhile, Ladd McConkey has had 20 points, missed a week, 16 and 14. So yeah, this guy lost this trade to his 9-year-old son like by a lot.
Karmic retribution, baby.
I think that in a nutshell is why we don't veto trades.
In the time, didn't we? At the moment, we were like, this actually doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But that in a nutshell is why we don't veto trades. Is because you know what? Karma gets you.
You never know what people know.
This one's from Warner. Psychopath. I made it to the championship game in my league. I'm set to face off against my wife and her team. A team that I have 100% been managing since week 1.
What?
I finished first in the standings. She finished second. Call me anytime for advice, by the way. She had never played fantasy before. It's a family league. She wanted to join in. I was happy to help her, but I don't want to discount her contributions. However, her contributions are she drafted the Vikings defense. She added Justin Fields when Anthony Richardson was benched while I was driving, and I told her how to do it. And that's it. So you can probably see where I'm going with this. I'm completely aware of all the moral ramifications of tanking her team this week so I can win the championship myself. But I really want to win. And maybe who gives a shit about moral ramifications if I win at all? So as a neutral third party,
it's like a guy
can
talking
you guys,
himself into crime.
Yeah, help me put together a pros and cons list of putting the best team out there versus just, leaving her to her own devices for the championship or just benching the whole team and winning. Be the angel and devils on my shoulder.
I don't know.
You gotta finesse it.
Don't get divorced.
I don't think she cares.
Wait, does she give a shit? Does she even care?
Well, I have a lot of questions.
Is he worried more about his wife, or is he worried more?
I think
about
he
the
knows
rest of
it's
the
wrong
league?
to bench all the players, but he's thinking about it.
And so she's not paying attention at all. Like he could literally bench the whole team, and she doesn't care.
No, I guess not.
Then
you should
might
just
as
let
well.
her set the lineup this week, and she probably won't change anything. And then
I was gonna say, like, if she even cares 1%, she could just look at her lineup, see the highest projected points, and just start those people.
I think it's also weird for him because if he wins, it's kind of like, all right.
Isn't this question more about like the rest of the league, though?
That's the thing.
His wife doesn't care, obviously.
Do you think everybody else knows
shadow running her team?
Yeah, that he's shadow running her team. Has he been bragging about that? That I am actually running the 2 best teams in the league all year.
I mean, he's writing emails about a criminal conspiracy.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. You're taking notes on a criminal conspiracy. You broke rule number 1
He
of
sent
the wire.
us the email.
You know what? Screw it. Get the dub.
I think he should. I don't know what I think. I think it's already like this is like
you can't bench
you're
the players.
in the fucking vault. If you leave now, you're still going to get arrested. You might as well just fucking finish the job.
This is funny because he's just in a conflict with himself. It's like no one here is. He's just like has a moral quandary of what he should do.
You need a therapist.
Also,
it's not a legal matter.
The league hasn't weighed in. His wife doesn't care. It's just like him alone in a room. Like, do I start my wife's players?
I don't. This is like one of those things where like people don't think about you as much as you think they think about you, kind of deal. It's like once you're out in a league, do you fucking even pay attention?
No,
to
nobody
who's
gives a
win
shit.
The championship.
He's playing chess against himself.
I feel like in the leagues where I'm eliminated, I'm just like, I don't care what happens from now on.
Yeah, imagine if you heard that the guy in the championship was also managing the other team in the championship and he benched all the players to win. You'd be like, this guy. This guy needs God.
Wait, do you guys remember who wins a league sometimes? Because sometimes it's like when you win your league, it's like the completion of everything you've ever wanted in your life. And then like 2 years go by and no one remembers who won that year. And you're like, I won that year. And I was like,
totally.
Oh, did they? Cool.
I can barely fucking remember who won the Super Bowl. Like
DK's in 23 leagues. He doesn't know who won.
He doesn't know. It's like everyone remembers who lost the league, had to do the punishment.
This is what I'm saying, though. Like, I think he could do whatever the fuck he wants and no one would notice.
Just try to win the game fair and square.
Yeah, there you go.
I remember I won a league.
The money is coming to your household.
I was going to say, I'm sure you have a joint checking account. The deposit's hitting no matter what.
All right, next case here is from Omar.
Omar.
I have a predicament in my fantasy football league. My longtime friend of 10 plus years is the commissioner of the league. It's primarily most of his college buddies. I recently made the championship game and have a chance to take the pot of money home. $300. We were out clubbing this weekend and the commissioner approaches me after I've had plenty of drinks and tells me, said, hey, won't be able to pay you that $300 because he's already spent the money due to some financial constraints. Noted I'd have to wait till February to get paid, and even then there's a chance he forgets. In the moment, a lot of vodka cranberries in me. Didn't really make a big deal about it. My sober self was furious. How could he spend all the money? This kid lives at home with his parents. What do I do?
Legend.
I want to press him for my money because my girlfriend's birthday's coming up and I could cover all her gifts and dinner with the money. But he's my boy. Do I make a big deal about the money or do I let it slide because I've known him forever?
This is dicey, actually.
I think he lost all goodwill by the fact that he said, wait till February. And also, like, there's a chance you forget. Like, he's not even, like, sorry.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't. He's kind of like the idea
There's
that like,
no remorse.
Also, he owes you $300. Like, he owes you $300.
People do not forget when other people owe them money. That is not something he will forget.
Yeah, I think the line that he was like, I might forget is actually just, I'm going to cheat you out of this money and never pay it to you. And I'm drunk enough that I'm going to admit that to you right now.
You got to like, I don't know, threaten him with physical force or something to give him this money.
You think that he should go that route?
Go right to
jump there?
Go get a fixer to step in?
The threat of physical violence.
Get Ray Donovan on the job?
But I feel like the problem is Ray Donovan's got to be over 300 an hour, right?
Yeah, that is tough.
Like, you know?
Yeah, but it's the principle. It's not the money.
It's not about the money.
Could you maybe kind of round up the rest of the league to kind of collectively
peer pressure?
So that's I think the tricky spot is he sounds like the home friend and it's all his college friends and he's like his friend is the nexus to that. So it's a little awkward because I think this is the person he knows the best. And so you got to get his college buddies. So you got to wrangle them to like, you know, Frankenstein pitchfloat
float it in the group chat.
He's not going to pay me.
Hey, still haven't gotten my money yet in the group chat.
He did kind of steal money from everybody. So it's like,
100%.
Frankly, if you did this and you spend the money, that's just like deeply irresponsible.
You got to throw that shit in escrow. You know what I mean?
But if you do it and then don't feel bad about it, that's you should cut the person out of your life.
It honestly, I've been the commissioner of a league for 15 years now, and it is very hard to get. It's like $250 a person. So I have like $3,000 just sitting in my bank account for fucking 4 months. It's hard. I literally create a separate account for it to sit in just so I know that is money that I cannot spend. It's hard.
Or you could just spend it and tell everyone they're not going to get back.
Why just throw it on Bitcoin?
You could say tough luck, bitches.
Double it.
Should our podcast start a coin? I heard that worked out for Hawk too. Should we just start
meme coin?
Podcoin.
The piss
Kadarius coin? Piss coin. Piss coin.
We gotta do a piss coin.
Fuck this. Some listeners can get rich off this and we're fucking not.
Piss coin?
Yeah, but we're not gonna go to prison.
That's true. Yeah. Are we? Is this securities fraud just talking about this?
Can't prove it. No
piss
proof.
Piss coin sadly probably exists.
Piss coin. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way that this exists. Piss coin.
It does.
Fuck. I'm gonna get you guys this for Christmas. Piss coin.
It's on Coinbase.
God damn it.
Wait, if we talk about getting this up, oh no, that's a crime. We can't do that.
It's $0.0000007 a share.
We're wading deeply near securities fraud. We have to divert.
Oh, it just dipped.
Fuck.
People are buying and selling this. The fuck is going on, dude?
Touch grass.
It's December 23rd. Somebody's buying piss coin right now.
I love those memes of the text from your dad, like, how's the job search going? And it's just like, you just like selling piss coin on December 23rd.
A lot of them are like, are you bringing a girlfriend for Christmas this year? And then like the text is over like the 2008 redraftables. It's like, no, I'm not.
All right. This next one This is a special email right here. It's from Brian in Dallas.
Brian in Dallas.
That guy.
Brian says, he starts with, the following happened a few weeks ago and is shared with the permission of all people involved.
Thank you for consent.
Brian says, our league is now in its 20th year. We're all very close, having grown up in church together, and have supported each other through many tough times. Sadly, a little over a month ago, the mother of one of our league mates passed away after a battle with Parkinson's. I was playing him that week in fantasy football. Says he was excited because Christian McCaffrey had just been activated off injured reserve. So hear about the mom. I text the guy and I say, hey, buddy, I just got the church prayer update email, and I wanted to let you know that my wife and I are sending a lot of prayers your way, thinking of you. We're here for anything you need. And the guy whose mom has just died, responds and says, thanks, buddy. It would be really meaningful if you did not start Christian McCaffrey this week.
Oh, that's good.
Immediately leveraging it.
And he's like, I did not bench Christian McCaffrey. He got 13 points.
He said no.
Him and Chris Boswell led him to victory the day after his mother's funeral. Beat the guys at day after the guy's mother's funeral. And the question is, should these points be negated? Because after all, I did say anything you need.
This is like, was it Cardell Jones beating the kid in the hospital,
Yeah.
96 to whatever? God, that's funny. He said no. First of all, how dare you ask that in that situation? And second, how dare you say no?
That's his mom. He can do whatever he wants. This is like a Curb Your Enthusiasm situation where it's like, hey,
It
Larry,
is,
like he said, you
100%.
do whatever you need. He's like, bench Christian McCaffrey. He's like, no, I'm not benching Christian McCaffrey. It's like, it's fantasy football, Larry. He's grieving.
It's like, it's an unwritten rule. You can't ask that.
You can't just bet. You can't. It's like you can't ask that.
That doesn't count as a favor. It doesn't qualify as a favor.
It's gonna help him.
That's
Gonna
not
help
a
him feel
favor
better.
category. Yeah.
Let him win, Larry. It's fantasy. I thought this was incredible.
What is the question though? Like, should the
This-
points
I
be
think the
negated?
question basically is, should we negate the points?
But that was like a month and a half ago. Isn't the league? Isn't it over now?
Yeah, I think. Well, it affects the standings. I think it also is like involving a points for a tiebreaker of sorts. They're arguing over the 13 points.
This is some moral gray area here.
I love the ideas. Like I said, do whatever you need in your time
Great.
of grieving.
Bench McCaffrey.
Did you bench your player? Well,
It'd
We'll
mean
do
a
that.
lot if you bench McCaffrey this week.
so good.
This is a disease.
I want to give it to that guy because that's such an awesome request.
That's such a funny text.
He has such an amazing sense of humor. You got to give it to him.
Yeah.
So yes, he should remove the
I think
13
so.
points.
That's such an again, Art getting away with it like that. Yeah, that's
I agree.
incredible. All right, that's fantasy score. We have one email left. I want to do. We got this very fun email from Joe.
Joey.
Joe says, "This is my first time emailing. I've been listening for 4 years, and like you guys, I've always loved the old timey athlete names." And Joe says, a few years ago, I made a list for my friends for a game called MLB Hall of Famer or Porn Star.
Ooh, nice.
Hell yes.
I'm gonna
Right
steal
up our
that.
alley.
And I there are no answers in this. There's just names. So I have your baseball reference because I don't want to Google these people to find out.
Sure.
And I would like to play this game with you guys.
All right.
So we don't know the answer to this?
We don't know the answer. I just have baseball reference up because that is going to be better than the internet because the porn stars won't come up in baseball reference, but the people will.
Is there a porn star reference?
I'm sure there is.
Somebody should.
I
Some
probably multiple.
Same company.
Okay. Number one here. Again, this is
IMDP. Sorry.
That's good.
Write that down.
Just
Write
shakes
that
his
down.
head at me.
Right. That's such a good idea. Fuck.
IMDP.
Do we visit it right? Someone's come up with this, right? I bet that exists. Wait, should I type it in? This is a work computer.
I don't know.
IMDP.
It's dangerous.
That could be anything though.
Oh, it's a closing price. Interested in a domain we have. Oh, I think it's a. Oh no, that's not what I want. Dude, we could get this right now.
This is
Dude,
like,
whatever listener takes it, if we don't do this, is going to get rich, and they're going to do piss coin at IMDb.
I know. Let me check Pisscoin again, see where it's at.
God damn it!
It's quite
I just love the idea that it's basically Christmas Eve and some guy's buying Pisscoin.
fucking trading piss coin.
Fuck.
It's down a little.
I'm day trading.
Okay. Porn star or baseball player? You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ban Johnson.
Ban?
Baseball.
Yeah.
I think porn star.
I'll Google it. I'm on my home computer right now.
Oh, okay.
Ban Johnson.
That thing
it's
is already
porn star.
corrupted.
Founder of the American League.
Get the fuck out.
Let's fucking go.
It's so funny. Henry Chadwick. That sounds like a baseball
Hank
player.
Chadwick.
I'm basically just waiting for like a sexual pun name.
Yeah, I feel like most of the porn names are just puns.
Oh, I think Henry Chadwick.
Barry McCockiner.
I think Henry Chadwick is a porn star.
Henry Chadwick?
Yeah, I think so. Because he's not on Baseball Reference.
Hold on, let me look it up.
I'm waiting for like Dirk Diggler. I guess that could be a baseball name.
No, this is Henry Chadwick was an American sports writer, baseball statistician.
Oh.
So these are baseball adjacent people.
Candy Cummings.
Okay.
I think baseball.
It has to be baseball for the purpose of what this guy's trying to accomplish.
Oh yeah, Candy Cummings, died in 1924.
1872. Oh my
Candy
God.
Cummings.
Looks like Grover Cleveland's son.
Jesus Christ.
It's like Misty Mountains from The Nice Guys.
This is great, Craig. Cummings is widely credited with inventing the curveball. This is somebody's dad.
Invented the curveball. What if I put some weird spin on it?
Candy Cummings invented the curveball. Oh my God.
That new curveball is pretty sweet, Candy. He's calling it a curveball.
Oh my God.
All right, we got Elmer Flick.
God, that has to be baseball.
Dude, there's no porn star named Elmer, right?
Elmer?
There's no way that's got to be
Elmer
a baseball
Flick
player.
was an American baseball outfielder.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any porn stars on this list, man.
I think that's the trick is they're all baseball players.
Oh, you think that's what they did to us?
It's a good bit.
That is a good bit.
Keep going. Let's do this.
Elmer, Bill Dickey.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bill
dude,
Dickey.
you think they got us? It's all baseball.
American baseball catcher and manager later.
Chief Bender.
Served in the Navy during World War II, played for the Yankees,
Chief
turned as a coach.
Bender?
Yeah, the next one here is Chief Bender.
That's a sick name.
That's got to be a baseball player.
Yeah. Or like my nickname in college.
Chief Bender.
It was late Thursday nights. That's why you couldn't take the Friday surfing at San Diego State.
You have a good memory.
Native American professional baseball pitcher Chief Bender, Charles Bender, 1884.
Wow.
Chief Bender is an awesome nickname.
There's a guy named Cum
Bender,
Posey.
I barely know her.
That's
There's
like Chief
Composy.
Bender sounds like the name of somebody in the movie Old School. Oh, that's Chief Bender.
Yeah.
Dude, the next one here, Cum Posey.
Okay. His name was Cum.
Cum.
C-U-M?
Yes. I think there's no porn stars
Posey.
on this list.
Baseball manager. His name is spelled C-U-M. It's not even C-O-M-E.
That was before cum. That word was a thing.
No, just before they invented it.
Yeah.
They didn't have any.
Cumberland. The name Cumberland has died, huh?
Well, I wonder why. The picture, he looks like a Peaky Blinder. This photo is like what photos look like when they're like the invented photography.
Peaky Blinder sounds like the name of a baseball player from 1898.
Peaky Blinder.
Seriously.
He invented
Because he
that.
famously blinded a catcher when he ran through the home plate.
He could only see through one eye.
Cum Posey managed the Homestead Grays. Oh my God.
Lost his eye in a farming incident.
else
Okay,
you
they're
got?
all baseball players. I'm done.
What else you got?
Dude, Joe Tinker, Frank Chance, Pie Trader, Jeff Bagwell's on here. They're all baseball players.
Jeff Bagwell.
Bobby Cox. they're
Jeff
all-
Bagwell would be a good porn name, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would.
Great email. That was fun.
Good job.
it was.
Good job, Joe.
Composy.
Cum Posey. Who was the other? Who was the other one? Popcorn?
I don't know.
Composy. That sounds like a Gen Z kid trying to say composure. Like you got to keep your composy.
Right.
Stay
Dude,
composed.
Candy Cummings.
Dude, we should come up with new Gen Z slang for draft jargon. That should be the new one. Is like Jalen Milroe, great physical talents, but like I don't know about his composy.
Doesn't have the composy.
Doesn't have the composy. All right. I think that's all we got, boys. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Thank you to everybody for listening. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Austin. Thank you to the founding fathers of this podcast, Composy, Cloyce
Candy
Box,
Cummings,
Fernbach, Candy Cummings.
invented the curveball. Invented the question mark.
Invented the question mark. Oh my God. We don't have a Friday show this week, but we do have this same Sunday, Monday, Wednesday thing for next week for New Year's, and then we'll cover the playoffs, covering everything. So stick with us. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
There was a Frank Sinatra song in Elf, and I can't remember which one it was now.
Oh, I love Frank.
Sinatra rips.
Yeah, he's
Like,
the
you
best.
just listen to Sinatra, it's pretty fucking sick. I get it.
Yeah, dude. Of course. He's like the ultimate, I get it.
Yeah. It's pretty
If
sick.
anyone's like, I didn't see why people thought Frank Sinatra was cool. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, You Make Me Feel So Young.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
that
good.
montage.
My
made me
wages
feel so
still
young.
rips.
He has good Christmas stuff, too. He has like Santa Claus is coming to town, all those.
Yeah.
What's
Dude,
it
the way
called?
they sing
Old
about
Blue
Christmas
Eyes?
back in the
Old
day.
Blue Eyes.
What'd you say, Craig? Or Heifetz?
It's the way they sang about Christmas back in the day. Dude, we got chestnuts the other day. We roasted chestnuts. I didn't even know there were still chestnuts.
I've never even eaten a chestnut in my life.
They're it's Jackie's no chance she's listening to this episode. They're awful.
Really? Even roasted?
There's
Yeah.
a reason that they're gone. I mean, if anyone,
Yeah.
some entrepreneurial person still on this episode, like if you want to bring
Like
chestnuts
black
back,
licorice.
yeah,
One of
it's
these
like-
one of these fancy LA ice cream shops, they do their like festive holiday flavors, and one of them is chestnut flavored. You think it'll be bad? I haven't had it yet.
well, I'm sure they made it good, but like actual roasted chestnuts, they're kind of like the texture's weird. They're big. They kind of look like they look like walnuts. If they look like the walnuts are kind of soft.
I don't know if they'll make it good. I think these fancy ice cream places are going too far with it. Now it's like you go to Salt and Straw, and it's like turkey and gravy with real turkey and gravy mixed with sweet cream ice cream. This is disgusting. Make a fucking normal flavor. Give me like pecan pie. That's as far as I'll go.
I know we already have our bar idea with the Gentleman's Piss Club, but I do think there's a spinoff of a bar idea where it's like, how every fucking bar now is like, hey, you can throw axes.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, it's like a golf simulator. You can play basketball here. And I'm like, I have an idea. There's a bar with televisions on the screen that play sports. That's fucking
You can sit there and watch?
You don't have to throw any fucking axes or any of this bullshit. Like a normal bar. Nobody's opening normal fucking bars anymore.
But the whole thing is a giant bathroom.
Yeah, but you can go to the obviously.
And you just pee.
Onto something here.
Yeah.
Should we just call it
agree,
number
though.
one?
Mm.
Number one, boys?
No, that doesn't sound good.
No, gentlemen. You're right. Fuck. Bleep that. I don't know. Whoops.
Lover boy or mother boy? What's the Arrested Development thing? They go to like the lover or the mother boy thing.
Look, once Pisscoin takes off, we'll be able to build whatever we want.
So can we keep that in, or is that like a crime?
Piss boy.
What did we say about
Pisscoin's
Pisscoin?
going
It's
to
not
the
a
moon.
crime.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I don't know what a crime. I don't know. I honestly, I don't even get why Hawk Tuah girl's going to jail. I didn't really understand that.
Is she going to jail?
No, people just said she was.
Probably not.
Probably not.
She's not.
I just saw tweets that said she's going to jail.
Famous
Like,
people don't go to jail.
That's a good test of her fame. Dude, the Martha
True.
Stewart went to jail. That doc was sick.
Nah, that was
It
a while
was.
ago. Nothing. That shit doesn't happen
And they
anymore.
threw her under the bus.
Oh yeah, they did.
They made an example out of her.
They did. Also, the whole thing being over $45,000 when she was like a billionaire is so funny.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, they were just excited.
That's like how in all the mafia movies, like the way you go out, the way you get like the head of the, it's never like for the big crime. It's always like you get them for some small minor thing that you can.
Didn't file their
Imagine
taxes
Yes.
in
That'd be a good, like-
1977.
That'd be a good like skit of just like some IRS agents like looking at Al Capone's taxes. And it's like, holy shit, guys, you got to look into this guy. Like, what's going on here?
He ran a stop sign in 2008.
All right, goodbye, everyone.